guys, so in this video, what I wanted to do is just wanted to talk about some of the setup basics, because it's amazing how many golfers reach out for help that are struggling with either the iron or in particular with the driver. And it's often because of the actual setup mistakes that you're making, and particularly when it comes to the distance from the golf ball. So the first thing that you want to be doing when it comes to the distance from the golf ball is you want to make sure that you are creating a good bend of the hip first. Okay, now what this basically means is, see the way that my upper body moves more over. Okay, so it's almost like if you imagine I was standing on a really sort of tall building and I kind of wanted to peer off over the edge. So it's not this, and it's certainly not kind of this, it's more upper body first. Okay, so it's my upper body over my lower body, then I introduce a softening in the knees. And the benefit of doing it that way is my hips. My hips don't fall too far behind my ankle line, which now gives me freedom to turn. Now, obviously we're all slightly different, but what we should then notice is as the club shaft sits down, can you see the way that the club shaft would continue and it should point through towards my belt line? Okay, like so. Now this would mean that I'm in a good position where my shoulders are over my toes, my arms are hanging down nice and vertically, the club is sitting on a good angle, and it's giving me the freedom to move. So from here, it looks now like I'm going to be able to do two things. One, lift my arms up, and two, turn. And those are the two compositions for a good golf swing. It's getting that ability to lift your arms up whilst turning in that backswing position. If you sort of end up being too far this way, or potentially too close, then all of a sudden you're going to look like you're going to be struggling. Now, the mistake that then I tend to see with driver is golfers don't allow enough room. Okay. So what they end up doing is taking and just moving a little bit further away, so you end up looking something like so. You need to make sure when you're hitting the driver that you are giving yourself much more distance between the butt end of the club and the trouser. Okay, so when it comes to the iron, you're looking to be able to pass about a hand's distance between the butt end of the club and your trouser. But the driver needs to be way more. So if you imagine the old telephone phone call, when people used to do that, this sort of thing, then you want to make sure that that's at least the distance. So can you now see the way that I stand much, much further away? And this is going to mean a few things, because when we're hitting driver, you're going to be producing more speed. So your arms are going to be naturally more inclined to be pulled away from you. So if you're sort of standing really close, then this is the reason why you're probably struggling with things like your club path coming in towards this hit. So give yourself more distance, and then from this setup position, what should happen is the club shaft should start to point a little bit more towards your belly button line, as I'm demonstrating here. And all of a sudden you've got this sort of setup position, you're going to be able to produce a good swing where your arms are going to be able to straighten, making good contact with the golf ball. And those are the couple of the reference points. So with the driver, make sure you're more this sort of distance away and that the club is pointing more towards your belly button. And with the iron, just a fist distance away and it points more towards your belt line. And doing that will give you a really good starting point and give you freedom to swing the club as you need to.